Today I'm going to be doing a quick comparison of the new Generation 3 clamp, the 2017 version, and I'm going to be comparing that directly to the previous Generation 3 clamp. There's been a number of design changes, and I thought I would go over them just in a quick format here to sort of run down the bullet points. Number one, one thing you should notice is that the new clamp, as were the old clamp, the new clamp is fully enclosed, so none of the mechanism is exposed to any diamond particles or metal dust that might fall down while you're sharpening. And so this protects the mechanism and prevents it from becoming gritty or needing to be cleaned. Whereas the old design, you can see very clearly that it's rather exposed, and diamond dust and metal dust will get in there, and you will have to clean it every once in a while. That said, I've had this for, I don't know, about a half year and done several sharpenings, and it's not a huge issue, but this is a definite improvement as far as the durability of the mechanism inside. Another design change that has occurred is with the jaws themselves. So on the old Generation 3 clamp, you will see, it's a little battle worn here, that these are a solid piece front to back. And the problem with this design was that if you had a distally tapered knife, a knife that, say, is thicker at the heel on this side and thinner at the tip, like say a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, the clamp had a difficult time getting those knives held properly because most of the clamping force would be exerted on the thicker part of the knife, and the front part where it was thinner could potentially have some play. With the new design, they are split, so you can see, and this allows the jaws to grip the knife solidly in two places and to accommodate these distally tapered knives, so that way they kind of bend around it. So really nice feature, definite improvement. What else? The other big change, and I'll do my best to make sure you can see it, right here is a dial with tension, and there's a minus and a plus, and that does exactly what you would think it does. It adjusts the amount of force that the jaws exert on your blade when the clamp is engaged. And so in the minus position, which you might imagine using if you have a thick knife, where you don't need a lot of force exerted because it's separating these jaws quite a bit already just because of the dimensions of the blade. That can be really useful compared to the older design, because the older design has no tension adjustment and is just a simple on-off. And so when you would try and clamp a really thick blade, if it would fit, it would be really difficult to overcome that detent in the clamping mechanism to get it engaged. Whereas with a thinner blade, like say a slip joint folder, sort of a traditional pocket folder, on the old style clamp, because there's no tension adjustment, they had to balance it sort of in a middle point, and that ended up leaving you with not very good clamping force on really thin blades. And so people were having problems where thin blades would be slipping as they were trying to sharpen the knife, and that's a real problem because that changes the angle that you're sharpening at and will lead to multifaceted bevels, and it's just not good. So on this clamp, if you have a really thin knife, you can adjust it to the plus side on the tension, and that'll cause the jaws to move together a little bit and to exert more force for clamping that thin knife and to hold it better. I haven't attempted to do a real thin knife yet, so I can't speak to how well this function accomplishes its goal, but I'm confident that the people at Wicked Edge have tried it and know what it's doing. And I think that's a really smart response to customer feedback. Finally, I guess I'd just like to comment on the overall fit and finish and operation of the unit. It just feels a lot more premium. And yes, that doesn't affect how sharp your knives get, but you're paying a lot for a Wicked Edge system, and it's nice that they have upgraded the feel and the appearance of the unit. The clamping operation is just really smooth. It feels really good, and this arm will stay where you put it, no problem. As where the old design, I'll show you, this arm kind of has a lot of jiggle and play going on in it, and even with this screw fully tightened, this just flops wherever gravity will take it at the moment. Not a huge problem. It doesn't affect how well this clamp operates from a sharpening perspective, but just from a joy of use perspective, this is a better design. And yeah, if that really bugs you on the older style clamps, you can just take that off while you're working, which you can do on this one as well. But I feel like that wouldn't bother anyone anymore. Yeah, and I guess the last thing I wanted to do as far as the clamp goes is just to show you, I'm going to adjust the tension forward a little bit, that it does a really good job holding knives to the point where you can pick up the knife or the whole unit by the knife itself and even, you know, shake it, and it's not moving, it's not slipping. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it does a great job at it. So kudos to Wicked Edge. Fantastic job. And yeah, you know, it's still the same Wicked Edge system. I sharpened this knife today, and it's beautiful. So, all right, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks.